and welcome to another Motion Industries how-to video. My name is Tom Clark. I am your host, and on today's how-to, we're going to show you how to achieve higher energy motor performance, and that's from our good friends at Baldor Reliance, because we're going to be talking about the RPM XE motor, and helping us out is Mike Offick. Mike, how you doing, man?
Hey, good. Glad to be here.
Good to have you here. I had this shipped in special. Pull this off the back of my go-kart. No, not really.
You did good.
But we got something new and innovative here, so let's talk about this brand new motor here.
What we have here is that over the last several years, there's been a lot of regulations that have taken effect for motor manufacturers, and that's driven everybody to an efficiency level for NEMA premium. And that's really IE3, and that's now the industry standard. But we're really not finished. The Baldor Reliance RPM XE is an innovative NEMA drop-in replacement motor which achieves leading efficiency and lower lifetime cost. It's ideally suited for continuous operation on pumps and compressors, and as a synchronous motor, it actually starts across the line and offers IE4 plus efficiencies. Okay. The motor's capable of operation on a standard inverter without feedback. NEMA design mounting dimensions and NEMA design B inrush currents are met from 10 to 100 horsepower. So it's easy to install without any additional or non-standard equipment.
Okay, but how do you get to that next level of efficiency? What have you guys done?
Well, let's start with the technology behind the design. This motor is a permanent magnet motor, which typically they do give you higher efficiency than induction motors because you don't have the losses in the rotor. Okay. But this motor is unique in that it is a hybrid design that combines an induction cage with that permanent magnet synchronous technology. So essentially we have a permanent magnet rotor and we've added an induction cage. And this gives us the ability to start across the line like a standard cage motor. So unlike synchronous motors that traditionally are unable to start across the line and require a drive, this one can just run across the line.
All right, I'm following so far. Keep going.
So this is really a truly synchronous motor. Runs at 60 hertz. It will run at 1800 RPM. However, if you want to operate it on a VFD, you can run it at other rated speeds. And it's important to note that when you operate it on an ASD or an adjustable speed drive, it doesn't really require any special control software or feedback devices. You just run it in your scalar or volts per hertz mode.
Okay, it sounds really good, but what are some of the customer benefits? You know, let's talk about, you know, what people are going to get out of using this type of motor.
You know, really the biggest benefit is the energy savings over the life of the motor. Since this XE efficiency levels are certified by UL or above NEMA premium, you could possibly also qualify for a rebate from your utility when you buy it. In addition, you have improved power factor, which helps you with power factor penalties from the utilities. And the lower amp draw means that you could possibly size a smaller VFD. And by the way, it's lighter, and that means it's a little easier to handle material-wise.
All right. Well, Mike, I believe you. Sounds too good to be true. You know, I'm a show-me type of guy, so I'm just wondering if you might have sort of a demonstration in a lab in your back pocket somewhere that we could have a really cool demo done.
You know, Tom, I knew you would ask for that, so I'm with you. Let's go to one of our labs.
All right, let's take a look now.
So we've set aside this side-by-side comparison between our RPM XE and one of our NEMA Premium 841 motors at 100 horsepower. Two 100 horsepower dynos with a scope on the power line, and then we have a Yokogawa analyzer measuring each motor. You can see that we are using 1.2 kilowatts less in power, so that's the 76.9 minus the 78.1 with the XE versus the NEMA Premium. So if this motor were running for 24/7 for 365 days a year, this would equate to about $700 in annual energy savings. And that's with the 6.5 cents a kilowatt hour, which is the average across for industrial plants across the US. Could be higher. A lot of people are up at 10 cents or higher. But over the life, that would turn into $7,000. You can also see that the power factor is a 0.99 versus a 0.87 on the traditional induction motor. So the improved power factor can help you save money in those power factor penalties that lots of utilities improve on our industrial plants. Lastly, you can see the reduction in current needed by the XE. You get the same 100 horsepower, but you're only drawing 77 amps versus the 111 amps for the NEMA Premium. And this could save you possibly on the drive size, depending on the manufacturer's drive that you're using and the ratings and where those frame break.
Well, you know, saving money is always a huge benefit. But are there any other special considerations that we need to be thinking about?
Well, you know, it is a NEMA drop-in replacement, uses NEMA design B inrush currents. That means that you can start across the line and you can use the same starters that you had in your wiring. You don't need any special considerations for the higher inrush currents like if you went to a NEMA Design A motor.
Okay.
So you don't incur more cost than you would installing any other NEMA motor, and it always runs at 1800 RPM on 60 hertz power.
Are there going to be any issues running at 1800 RPM?
That's a real good question. Just like when we went from EPAC to NEMA, the slip speeds went down as the motors got more efficient. Now we've actually taken those slip speeds down to 0 with this synchronous motor. Wow. So for a pump, you can either take advantage of that by getting additional flow, or you can trim the impeller to get the same flow and the benefits of that efficiency, or you can use an adjustable speed drive to adjust it.
I love it. Saves money in multiple waves. That's pretty impressive, Mike.
Yeah, and it also runs cooler. So you also get the benefits in longer life, because what happens is you reduce the heat of your motor and you run, say you run 10 degrees cooler, you're basically going to double your insulation life. So you also have your bearings run cooler. So all those things keep the motor nice and happy.
Yeah, it seems to me like this will last for more than 10 years, and you're going to be saving a lot more money
probably
as well.
Will.
So what's the output power range and availability of the RPM?
That's a great question. It's available from stock in ratings from, like this one here that was just delivered from stock, and it's available from 10 to 100 horsepower, and they're all 4-pole designs running at the 1800 and 2 different frames. And we can go a little higher, would be a slightly different design, but if somebody needs a 125 horsepower, we could probably handle that.
Well, Mike, that is great information. Now, if you notice today, neither one of us had on our appropriate PPE, but I had it in my back pocket just in case,
Always
right?
Good, yep.
All right, well, Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Remember, it's the appropriate PPE for whatever the job calls for, like when you get a new motor and you want to install it. That would be a great time to use it. Make sure, because safety is always priority number 1. Priority number 2, it's watching more videos at MiHow2.com. Hey, thanks for watching this one, though. I'm Tom Clark, your host. We'll see you next time.